Is $150,000 a year the new middle class? Because some Americans are living comfortably on $60K a year, but why do so many millennials and Gen Zers feel they need $150,000 to $200,000 to feel comfortable and live that middle class American dream? Well, I'm gonna break it down for you in this video because the middle class is divided based on three things: when you bought your house, if your children are in daycare, and if you're carrying student debt. So the first thing I wanna start with is housing. So this house right here is on sale for $450,000. Do you wanna take a guess on what this house sold for just 8 years ago in 2016? $201,000. And you know what the monthly payment was? Putting down just 3%, which is only $6,000. The payment out the door with property taxes, insurance, everything was $1,300. So if you were someone making $60,000 or a family making $60,000, you could not only qualify for this home, but it would only take 26% of your gross income. And look how beautiful this house is. This is a beautiful house. Now, how many people made $60,000 just 8 years ago? Well, the median household income was $60,000 just 8 years ago. And look at the house that you could get for $1,300. Most people in this country are spending more than $1,300 on a one-bedroom apartment. And look what you could have got in 2016. Well, let's see what it's actually going to cost today. $450,000. If you put down just 3%, the payment out the door is $3,700 for the same house. And the median household income in America today is around $80,000. So first of all, you cannot qualify for this. Even if you made $100,000, you can't qualify for this. In order to feel the exact same as the 2016 couple that bought this house, you would have to earn today $170,000 for this payment to be only 26% of your gross income. Now, I want to break this down into three categories so I can give everyone a visual of what's happening in the American neighborhoods and to the middle class. Let's say that this house right here, that the builder built 3 houses right next to each other. They're identical and they're the exact same house in the exact same neighborhood. Let's say somebody 30 years ago bought this house for $100,000 to $120,000 and paid it off. If they bought this 30 years ago, their kids are probably grown now and they're not in daycare and they have their student loans paid off. So today in 2024, Group A, living in this beautiful home, only has a burden of $700 for housing, daycare, and student loans. Now, their neighbor, who bought in 2016, has about a $1,300 payment. The property taxes did go up a little bit over the past couple years, but they could have refinanced in 2020 for 2.5% to 3%. So let's just say they're at $1,500 a month. Let's say their kids at that time were in daycare. Now they're in junior high. They have no daycare, and they got one student loan for $500. This neighbor's now spending $2,000 a month. Same exact house right next door, $700, $2,000. Nearly 3 times as much for Group 2 just because they bought 15 years later. Let's enter Group 3, which is the Millennials and Gen Zers entering the housing market, starting to have kids, getting married, trying to pay off their loans. This house would be $3,700 a month. 2 children in daycare, $2,000 a month. And then if you're making $170,000, you most likely went to college, or you're a top salesperson or worked your way up in a company, but let's say you went the college route, you probably have 2 college degrees in this house for $1,000 a month, $6,700. These 3 neighbors in the exact same house, $700, $2,000, $6,700. You can see why Group A and B can live comfortably on $60,000, where Group C would need about $150,000 to $200,000 just to get over the hump until their kids are out of daycare, they can pay down their house, they can pay off their student loans. And people making $150,000 are living paycheck to paycheck. Oh, Freddie, come on. You've got to be exaggerating. I bring receipts. Let's go over this real quick. $150,000. After taxes, after health insurance, and after 401k, that $150,000 goes to $100,000 in take-home pay. That is $8,300 a month. Now, let's say they don't even buy this $450,000 house. They want to be responsible, so they buy one for only $350,000, which is pretty non-existent in most places, but let's say they found one for $350,000. With utilities, that house is still $3,500 a month out the door. They got $1,500 for daycare. Maybe they figured out how to do that for less than $2,000, $1,500, $1,000 for groceries on a family of 4, $500 on a student loan, $500 on a car payment. They got 1 car paid, 1 student loan paid off, $300 car insurance, $200 cell phones, $200 gas, $200 on personal care, doctor's appointments and haircuts, $100 on subscriptions, Dropbox, Zoom, Netflix, Hulu. And this couple, let me remind you, makes $150,000. Let's give them $300 a month for fun, babysitter, and one night out, $300. 0 credit card hard because they're financially responsible. $8,300, paycheck to paycheck. And this doesn't include a savings, extra principal payments, which on this high 6 to 8% interest rate, you've got to make extra principal payments. You're going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest. Clothing, school supplies, car maintenance, emergencies, vacations. This leaves nothing for anything else. So what can we do to feel a little positive at the end of this video? We need to focus on bidding a budget together and paying off as much debt as humanly possible and simultaneously working on skills that are going to continue to help you grow and make more money. But I just wanted to put it out on paper to show why the middle class is divided and how we have a problem to solve. But millennials and Gen Zers, we're looking for purpose. So let this be our purpose. Let us try to figure out how to get involved politically, and let's take matters into our own hands of what we can control about our own finances, and let's make an American dream that we're excited to live. So I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'll see you on the next one.